it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus beta tutorial from the Age of Sigmar. Yes, we return to the Mortal Realms and the Daughters of Khaine, and today we are painting the all-new Blood Hags. Yes, here they are. The all-new, I guess, heavy infantry or intermediate-sized infantry. They're a little bit heavier than witches, but a little bit lighter than big snake ladies. Medicai. Is that what they're called? Can't remember. Anyway, this is what we're going to be painting up today, because Games Workshop sent me these early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to go ahead and do, starting right now. So, they've all been primed in Grace here. We're going to be focusing on these 5. There's not a huge amount of difference between all of the models in the box. The only real difference and standout is this banner over here, but it's the same colour as their tabards and stuff like that, so it's pretty simple. Little limited colour palette here, which is always quite nice and efficient to build and paint. So that's what we're going to do. So if I haven't already said it, I think I did, can't remember, but they have been primed in Grace here. And the colour we're going to be using first is Black Legion, and we're going to be applying this over top of their belts and their bodies, because they are not naked, these ones. They are in fact wearing some bodysuits underneath their armour. Now there are some cutouts, for example here on this thigh there's a big cutout just there, and naturally there is their faces, but the rest of it is in fact black. And I will also point out that their hands are also bare, they're not wearing any gloves. So boots and bodies, and for any of the sort of spear wielding ones, this one is not a spear wielding one, we're also going to be applying this over the top of the haft of their weapons. So with all of that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we're going to apply this over top of, well, the red, which is going to be their tabards and this banner. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Cygor Brown. We're going to apply this over top of all the remaining leather, such as their belts and things. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Nuln Oil, and we're going to apply this over top of their hair. Whilst we wait for that to dry, because we have got a little bit more to do to the hair, we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Contrast Medium and Guilliman Flesh, and we're going to apply this over top of all of their skin. So with that all done, we're now going to take a roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Black Templar mix. I'm going to apply this over top of the hair. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of blending. So we're actually just going to start up here and just get it covered over the top of these bits of hair on this particular model. Like that. And then over the top of the back of it. We're going to start way in there. We're going to apply this Black Templar like so. Over the top of about half of the hair. Then we're going to wash the brush, get rid of the water, and then we're going to blend it into the Nuln Oil. Now if you want to, you can create some hairstyles out of this by, for example, fully covering all of the hair except one set of strands, or by not doing this at all. But this way you kind of get this sort of unified look. With just a couple of colours. There we go. We just leave this strand here to be white, as it were. And so with that all done, just because we don't want to get this all over the place, what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush all of the hair with some Ulthuan Grey. And with that all done, it's now time to add metallics. So we're going to start off with some thinned down iron hand steel. We're going to apply this over top of all the silver armour, and of course all of the blades and sharp things. And with all of that iron hand steel applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. We're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining details. So with all our base coats applied, let's get our shade on. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take some Coelia Greenshade, and we're going to apply this over the top of all the silver and all the black. With that Coelia Greenshade all applied, we're then going to take some Carroburg Crimson, and we're going to apply this over the top of all the gold. So with that all done, our Blood Hags are now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. They're looking pretty cool. However, we're not going to leave them there, of course not. No, we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to do this by adding some highlights and a layer. So, the place we're going to start off is with one of the layers, but it is a really tiny layer, and it's going to be some Black Legion. We're just going to take a teensy tiny little bit of Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of their eyeballs. With that all done, we're then going to take a teensy tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to pick out their teeth and the corners of their eyeballs. So with the eyes and teeth now all done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to thin it down just a little bit more than we would normally, sort of 2 parts water to 1 part Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to effectively just relayer all of their skin, just avoiding any of the recesses where the Guilliman Flesh is settled. So with that all done, we're now going to move on to all the red. And we're going to start by taking some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet. We're going to use this to highlight all of said red. And with all that Evil Sunz Scarlet applied, we then take some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. We use this to add just a couple of little spot highlights to all that red. So with all that red now complete, we're going to move on to all the black details, and we're going to take some thinned down Thunderhawk Blue to highlight all of those. So with that all done, it's time for our relayer, which is going to be some thinned down Iron Hand Steel. We're going to apply this over top of all the flat areas in all the silver. So with all of that silver re-layered, we're now going to highlight it using some thinned down Stormhost Silver. So with all of that silver now highlighted, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. And we're going to use this to highlight all the gold. And so finally, to finish off our Blood Hags, we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise and we're going to apply this over top of any gems. And there we have it, with their bases now complete in the same style as the rest of my Daughters of Khaine collection, which is actually starting to grow into a proper full army. Our Blood Hags are now finished, and I really like them. I think they're very efficient to paint. It's a very nice, simple colour scheme that's going on here, but it's really effective, and I think they're beautiful models. And I kind of want to get a couple more. Maybe, just a couple more. I just prefer them over witches. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.